So what we'd like to do is give you the big picture of the coaching relationship. We call it the transformational coaching relationship because this is how you really help people transform over time. And you'll notice here there's basically 6 different boxes or circles. And what they are is a mind map. And so we'll start at the very top, like at 12 o'clock, and go through what it takes to make a coaching relationship happen.
And as we mentioned in a previous video, the coaching relationship is a consciously crafted relationship with a set of agreements that allow the progression through time of coaching for the client to achieve a goal or to accomplish some changes that they wish to make some transformations. And this is a big overview of the big picture of the coaching process.
So if you look at the top, you'll see on the green box, attracting and choosing a client. You know, obviously, if you don't attract a client, you won't have much of a coaching practice. But first is, what kind of marketing are you going to do? And what's your audience and what's the environment that you're in? So marketing, if you're coaching within an organization, might be very different than if you're opening a private practice. Now, sometimes as manager or leader, you might also be coaching. And what you'd want to do is you want to then move into it in a subtler way, but let people know that you're helping them by coaching them and not just telling them as a manager what to be doing. And as you look at this green box, you see sample sessions. One of the ways that coaches often attract new clients is to do a sample session that is free of charge or some minimal charge so that people can get a taste of it. And if you do a really good job, a lot of people will want to sign up. If you get people to the point where they're open to a sample session, they're usually really primed to do coaching. They just want to get to know you. Because what you're really doing as a coach is sort of selling yourself. As part of the attracting and choosing a client, before you actually start your coaching, you want to talk about kind of what are the rules of coaching. And in other words, it's a formal relationship, like Nick said. It's one that goes over time. There's certain benefits to it. You help somebody evolve and grow and live more consciously and be more effective. This last thing on here is you want to figure out what can you do to get referrals. The most successful coaches have some kind of referral program going where they'll get contacts from other sources like doctors or attorneys or business people they may work with. And so first thing is, obviously, you need to attract and choose the client.
And the second thing is that once you have chosen a client or they've agreed to coaching, they have signed up for coaching, then you're going to be working out a lot of the logistics of the relationship and designing the alliance with the client. So this would include things like the time for each session or the time frames for the session, the length of each session, the frequency. Some coaches will meet for hour-long sessions. Some coaches will meet for 15-minute sessions. And there are even coaches that will do whole day sessions. So this is really an open area where you can use your expertise, your skill sets, and your way of working to attract those clients that would match that and serve them in a way that would get to the results they would like. We also discuss whether the meetings are going to be in person, on the phone, or through Zoom or some other video format. And in our current world, in fact, for me, and I know probably for Tim, most of my coaching is done either on Zoom or by phone, and then even before the pandemic started, and then sometimes in person. And then, of course, there's the additional contact that you might have with the client through either email or fax or other means of communication. And then part of that coaching agreement would be a contract for behavioral interaction that you have with each other, which could include the person's willingness to be held accountable and how that accountability might occur. It could be their willingness to be challenged, or their willingness to open themselves to questioning that could take them off into fields of discovery, whether they're open to requests. And those kinds of things could all be part of an agreement that you start in the beginning, which then designs the alliance with the client in a conscious way, and often in a formal document, formal in the sense it's a checklist of agreements between the coach and the client.
So designing the alliance is kind of the how. How will we work together? And the next box, foundation, is what do you want to be, what attracted you to coaching? There's usually a primary focus. I've started a new project. I want to get fit and healthy. I have a health challenge. I want to be a better parent. I want to be a better leader. So you have some reason for wanting to do that. And often we call that a sort of a primary focus. And the coaching's built around that. The reason we do the foundation with a kind of a trajectory in it is so that we're not bouncing around all the time. Because if somebody comes in the first weekend and they say, or for the first session, they say, what I want is blah, blah, blah. Then the next one they're going, no, I think I want something else. It won't go in the direction that they're really wanting. So primary focus, getting really clear on what they want, what that might look like at the end of the session. And the foundation is also really getting to know the person. And foundations can be longer sessions. Some coaches will hold 2 or 3 hour sessions just to really get to know the client. On the other hand, they can be a fairly quick thing if somebody might come and give you 5 or 6 sentences. I'm starting a new project. I want to get really clear on my goals. I want to go after it and be efficient and effective and make it happen. Then that would be perhaps enough of a foundation for you to coach them. But it tells you how to keep them on track to achieve what it is they want to achieve.
So the foundation session sort of sets the overarching direction of the coaching, which then occurs in a number of sessions that might occur between that and whatever time period the coaching goes for. And those coaching sessions would start typically before the session actually starts, with the coach identifying getting in a good state to conduct the coaching and using that as an opportunity to review any notes. And the initial part of the coaching session would be gaining rapport with the client and identifying what the present state is with the general goal or the current goal, and how that aligns with the larger goal the client has already chosen. In fact, Tim and I have talked about this very often and really drill this in with those coaches that we train, that a good coach is going to always find the present state and the desired state, the goal, the direction they want to go in, because that's what a coach is defined to do. A coach is a vehicle that helps the person move from where they are to where they want to be. So there's the larger foundation goal, and then there's the individual goals that you would meet in each session. So you could be then identifying options to achieve those goals and create a plan, get commitments to action, and then some kind of closure, which often identifies the client's takeaway, what they're going to do out in the world, actions they're going to take, and how that might be followed up along the way.
Now, the next box is also part of the coach session, but it might be doing some very specific things. You might be coaching specific behaviors that the person wants. Maybe they want to, for example, create a new habit pattern that will get them closer to what they want. So you can coach around building specific habits, and you can coach around helping them take actions that are going to make what they want happen. Second is internal processing. How are they thinking? What do they say to themselves? What kinds of images are they making? And so as a transformative coach, you can help them identify what's going on inside their mind that really guides their experience. And thirdly, what kind of internal state is going to make a difference? So if I say, I have to give these talks and I'm really nervous about it, that nervousness is not going to be the internal state I want to give a good talk in. Instead, I want to be in some other state that's going to support it. So I might be coached by my coach around how I can access and maintain a positive state.
Yeah, one of the, I think, powerful things about coaching is that as the coachee is receiving coaching, they're also learning skills and techniques for self-coaching, which they can then take into their world and into their life. And over time, over the period of the coaching, the coach wants to do a periodic review, maybe every few sessions or midway through. Take a little bit of time to identify what's working and what's not working, to celebrate successes, to recognize changes that the person has gone through, or maybe old patterns that they've released and let go of, to reconnect with their larger vision and their desire and intention for coaching, to make sure they're well on the way for that, or they're making progress towards it. And sometimes people do shift and change the goals that are going on, which is perfectly fine in coaching, as long as it's done in a conscious way. And so this periodic review allows the coach and the coachee to not only examine the coaching relationship and what's working in it, but acknowledge and celebrate the coaching progress that's been made. And then finally, to make shifts or adjustments both in the relationship and in the direction to make sure that the client's getting what they really want in life.
So this is the big picture of coaching. And we wanted to do it in a mind map so you could kind of hold the vision of what the different elements are, so that as you move forward in your coaching, you've got a sense of what goes where. Now, as we go through this program, we'll be adding things, a lot of detail to each one of these circles. And at the end of the program, you'll be surprised at how much you know and what you can do within each one of them. You have a structure for each one.